Greetings, brothers and sisters. Got a bunch of Kanye stuff to get to, and um, one of my friends on I think Instagram or Facebook sent me this. But before we get to that, on my apocalaughsnow channel, apocalaughsnow, Pockets of the Future, there's a link in every one of my videos to this channel, and it's about the movie American Beauty. And I, watched the beginning of the movie, and, I'd forgot what the movie was about. And it's just such an icky movie. And there's so much stuff in it that I didn't realize years and years ago, obviously. And so this is well worth watching here. This is Genevieve Sabarin, and there's a famous sort of preceptor and practitioner of the heartfulness system that was from Canada named Don Sabarin, who I had some good interactions with, and he taught me a lot about heartfulness. He's the guy who talked to me after I was made a preceptor. I had that experience of hearing like 1,000, whatever it is, right? I talked about that before. And so, I have association with that name. Now, she has been branded as a stalker and crazy, and she is blaming Hilaria. And so let's just show this here first. Now it's a party. Okay, showing signs of being maybe a little bit crazy.
Well, we're having a baby. How about that for a project?
Ay, ay, ay.
Cravings here, okay.
Sí.
Ay, ay, ay.
Sí.
Ay, ay, ay.
Sí.
In case you don't get the reference, this is Hilaria's famous bit from the Today Show.
We have, how do you say it in English? Cucumber.
How you say it in English?
We have red pepper. We have, of course, the critical cebolla. Onion.
And listen how much he's talking in Spanish, and it'll vary throughout this, right?
Onion. And we have our garlic, el ajo. And we have a little bit of salt and pepper, aceite de oliva. We have olive oil. And
Olive oil?
we have some vinegar. So all of these things, all you have to do is blend them together. So you want to peel the tomatoes, okay? Because the outside part of the tomato is a little bit too tough for the soup.
You got to peel your tomatoes.
So you want to peel
Also,
it.
we're actually peeling it like an apple.
You're peeling like an apple, and I'm sure there's way fancier ways to do it, but this is how I learned in Spain.
This is how she learned in Spain. The rain in Spain falls mostly on the plain. And so she went all in this because she didn't grow up in Spain, right? She grew up in Boston. She went to suburban schools or, fancy schools in Boston. Her parents were the Thomases, right? The Hayward Thomases. And one was a doctor. The other person was a business person. And they vacationed in Spain. And she didn't speak with a Spanish accent when she grew up in high school in this whatever. And if she did, she was faking it, right?
We do it like this. You can do it over a bowl because as you peel it, it's very juicy. If you have a good tomato, it's very juicy. Now look
Okay, so again, the close-up.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to core it. So I'm going to cut it in half.
Okay, let's move forward here.
I like this. I'm one of those that needs, things cut up easily, just put it in there.
Easy. You're going to put these in. Actually,
There you go. She's blending it up.
even though it's very easy, if I know that I'm going to cook for a bunch of people the next day, I'll make it the night before and I let it sit in the refrigerator.
She lets it sit in the refrigerator. So let's go back to her enemy here. So she's not happy with Hilaria. She has this picture of remembering Alec Baldwin also used his crocodile tears and actor efforts during my make people believe his version trial. She has a long post about that. Some comments. Justice for Hauna. And so she's picking up some steam. And she has Hilaria here. So she's going all in. Before this malignant narcissist lied to get me wrongfully arrested as Alec Baldwin's stalker in 2012, no one knew who pathological liar, fake Spanish Hilaria Baldwin was, less who Hilaria Lynn Hayward Thomas, the Bostonian, her legal name and real name was. She became famous by playing the victim in injustice she completely created on myself with her lies to authority like the NYPD and New York State AG. She then increased her new name and fame by taking advantage of James Gandolfini funeral, and it goes on from there. So she has a bone to pick with Hilaria, and look, she cucumbered her, and it's all bull. She's reveling in the fall of the Baldwins. Here it is here. And then she posted something here as well.
Hi. I just want to bring a short video. I'm going to try to make it short to bring a context why my video is so long and I repeat myself over and over again in it. It's just because that's the consequences of the PTSD that I'm suffering and have been imposed through the lies of Hilaria Baldwin, but also through the incapacity of the legal system to identify who's the real victim in all this. And
see, I'm not saying this person isn't crazy, because I don't know. There could be some mutual crazy behaviors here. She sent a lot of emails and things. And there was evidence presented at court. I don't know the whole story. And really don't care all that much about it. But I do know that Alec and Hilaria are crazy. Like, these are the things I know just from covering Alec and Hilaria. There's a lot of narcissism there. Hilaria faked an accent, which we all know she did. Like, this isn't, she didn't grow up in Spain. She doesn't have any Spanish ancestry, according to multiple sites. Her family is like English and Scottish, and like they came over with her dad's ancestors came over on the Mayflower. Thomas English muffins. I've covered that before. And Hilaria has,
fake.
She completely, made up this accent and then stuck to her story, which was even weirder. And she's just odd, and she's she's wants to be a star herself, a lot of attention stuff. Alec has always been, hot-headed and stupid, and he's gotten worse since he's been with Hilaria, right? And he shot a coworker, he's got a lot. He assaulted some guy in the street, and he, we've seen him get angry and attack paparazzi, and, he talks about his inner demons going off on his daughter. He's got issues, right? And so we know they have issues. We know they're manipulative. We know Alec fake cried in that interview, and it looked like he fake cried when he was, claiming that this woman was making him fear for his life. And it seemed like this woman and him had some sort of relationship, and Hilaria didn't like it because Alec likes these women with the accent. They had a relationship, and Hilaria didn't like it, so she pushed Alex to get rid of her. And, no matter what this woman did, they certainly, their story, they're not believable sources, right? And I've talked about this before. Sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody, and as soon as you get into a relationship with that person, your life goes completely south. And you really can't, there's ways that it's difficult to blame the other person because, it's not really, there's not so much concrete evidence blaming them for how everything's just going wrong with you. But it's like their energy and who they are as a person, and just coming into contact with them, your life goes south. Everything's a nightmare. And I'm sure you guys all have had some experiences with that yourself. And Hilaria is one of those people, right? You look at Alec before and after Hilaria, and he's just spiraling down, where he's talking about magic Splenda packets and shooting coworkers.
The woman who's their neighbor, she found this. I can't. She found the Splenda packet.
This is such a great meme. She found the Splenda packet.
she found the Splenda packet.
And so, like I said, I don't know, I can't vouch for this person, but she gets a lot more credibility just because of what's happened now with Alec and Hilaria.
If I make very long video, I am sorry. If I repeat myself over and over again in it, I'm sorry. It is one of the many consequences of 10 years PTSD untreated. Because when I came back in Quebec and I asked for...
So she's claiming that she has PTSD. She talks about the Quebec healthcare system.
Resulting from a very hard detention or trauma for 2 years litigation in New York where I couldn't speak and I was always under like menace, and it was very painful, like emotionally, physically, financially. Like the damage were enormous, and it was very...
She went into detention, which she talked it. She went to jail in New York, which nobody likes, right? And so, and it seems like something that Alec and Hilaria kind of cooked up and exaggerated what this woman was doing, right?
Abusive to every of my rights, and just for being a human being. I was not even able to speak, so how can the truth be told? And resulting of that, there's many, it was so traumatic for so many years, and trauma piling one over the other, that it ended up being unable to be resolved. Nothing get resolved with time.
Anyways, I don't like the victim consciousness stuff, which I always talk about. We don't know what really happened here. But, this woman is a lot more believable now because Hilaria, and Alec are less believable, right? And they're manipulative and conniving and, everything that sucks about Hollywood and all these things, right? And so, now this story makes more sense because Alec is already knee-deep in the shooting, Let me run all the shooting. Let me run a montage of my various shooting memes.
I'd light up a couple usually when I was working, because I'm so nervous when I'm shooting to get the job done. When I was shooting, or just stupid behavior. When I'm shooting.
Isn't marriage a gunfight sometimes?
All right, so I'm in the editing portion of this video, and I went back to grab a meme because I realized I didn't have it, of him saying he found the Splenda packet. And it's just so funny. And I noticed, it seemed like Alec and Hilaria had wised up, and they stopped posting on Instagram because that would be the smart thing to do. And that would be their lawyer's legal advice, I would suspect, right? But Alec has now put out 2 videos in the last couple of days. He's looking rough. Like, look at him right here, right? I mean, those like, it looks kind of like Calabus. Calabus, is that what it is? Calabus from Clash of the Titans, right? Like, he's got some Calabus stuff working there. And so, all right, let's take a look at his videos here.
I'm going to go ahead and record this because I think it's funny.
I bet it's going to be hilarious.
I get to the airport. I fly on a sleeper flight. And I get to the airport. And I get through the immigration. And
Wait, are you at the airport? I'm not clear on that point. Are you in airport? Because it's not. You haven't made that clear yet. Looking Calabus-like, huh?
Get my bags, and I'm heading to the car that's going to drive me to where I'm going. And the driver says, yeah, we're going to go to the car park. And I'll do my bad accent.
It was horrible. Almost as bad as your Trump impression.
And there's a giveaway as to where I am. Going to go to the car park.
Is it England or Is it Boston? I can't tell. Because if it was Boston, it would be more of a Spanish accent.
Right now, and you wait right here and I'll be back straight away. And he goes and...
Geez, he's getting cut up every time. He's got a cut here. Looking kind of rough here, right? Well, he's really working that calibus thing here, right? I mean, it's just uncanny. What's going on, bro? Things are falling apart for you, buddy.
I'll be back straight away. And he goes and I don't see him for like 20 minutes. He's gone.
He's had to go to England to get a job, right?
And I'm like, wow. And on my itinerary, there's a number to call for the car service. And I called the guy. I says, well, I'm not your driver. I'm the owner of the company. And,
please don't shoot me.
Your driver, I've been on the phone with him the past few minutes. And he tells me his car has been stolen. He tells me that his car has been stolen from the car park. I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, can it get any worse for this guy?
What else?
Well, maybe you shoot another person on set.
Your driver, his car, it's gone. Then the guy comes walking up, the driver. It's gone. I'm walking around, clicking my keychain, the door opener, the fob, to find out where it is. I know I wrote down where it is, where it was. And I'm like, oh God.
It just keeps on getting worse for this poor schmo.
Anyway.
Good times.
I hope you found your car.
See, once he's left alone, he's going to have to go on Instagram because he just needs to get some sort of, needs his attention fix. And this is where he gets into trouble.
I am at the airport.
Are you at the airport? You're going on a trip?
And I am about to go on a trip.
This is an earlier video.
To go do a little job.
Does it involve gunplay?
And I am, as I often am, miserable.
That doesn't sound like you at all. You look like such a happy chap.
I'm very sad.
He's very sad. Don't cry. It's okay, buddy.
Whenever I leave my family, I don't think that you go about everything my wife and I have done.
Did you say done or gone?
I don't think you go about what we've chosen, the choices we make.
Those choices we've made to fake a Spanish accent and shoot a cinematographer, those were bad choices.
I'm sorry, my eyes are still so puffy.
He's crying for real. He's got real tears from this great actor.
I'm not sleeping. I don't think you make the choices we've made without having an abundant appreciation of wanting to have a lot of kids.
Exactly. Yeah, lots of them. 6.
An abundant clarity, I should say, of wanting to have a lot of kids.
Are you snorting coke?
You have a child, you have another child. By the time
I think you are snorting coke.
you get to a third child, you say, oh, okay, that's good. We had a girl, and we had 2 boys, and then you think,
a lot of coke snorting activity going on here.
we will try for another girl, 2 and 2. These silly metrics we apply to this. And we had another boy.
Crazy. That's just crazy talk.
3 boys in a row. And we had another boy. Yeah. We had 4 boys in a row. It's crazy.
4 of them.
It's crazy.
It's just nuts. Who would have thought the odds? It's like flipping a coin and getting 4 heads in a row.
But I don't have anything else in my life. I mean, I really don't have anything else in my life.
Not now, you don't.
That matters to me on that scale, and I really mean that. I really mean that.
He's not lying this time. This time he really means it.
And I'm not asking anybody to pin any medals on me or what have you, but I just
Yeah, no one's gonna do that.
don't have anything else in my life that even remotely means anything to me. When I didn't have children, all I did was work. And then I had a child.
Do you mean acting? Because a lot of people don't think that's work.
And my ex-wife was a real go-getter, and she wanted to work. We both worked a lot. And it was really...
He's looking frickin' rough.
It was a certain kind of reality. We were both younger. Work was important. They had 1 child, so it wasn't like we were...
Yeah, I believe you call that child a pig.
It wasn't like there was the extra responsibility that I have now. But in the last several years, especially the last 5 years, I work minimally. And that's been a problem. I probably need to work some more.
He's only got 2 houses and $60 million in the bank.
Regardless of where that leads me. If I have to travel, which I try to avoid so much. I hate to leave my family. And I'm turning down jobs and so forth.
Yeah, he's turning down lots of great jobs. You know, that's why he's got to produce his own crappy westerns on a budget and shoot cinematographers because he's turning down all these great jobs.
Shouldn't do, because I hate to be away from my kids. I hate to be away from my wife and kids.
It doesn't sound very believable.
I'm on my way to go on a trip now. I leave my family for it's a brief trip. It's not that long, but I hate it.
He just hates it.
I really hate it. I think you'll have your family, have your family's normal, which is it.
Yours is not. He's in some sort of lounge or something. Other people around him talking. And he's just talking into his phone right now. Talking about being sad and, you know, plotting his next shooting.
You have your ups and downs. Cherish the time you have with them. Cherish the time you
Doesn't sound like he's going to be alive a lot much longer.
have with them. People always say to me, oh, it goes so fast. Maybe it does.
Maybe it doesn't.
You know that my kids mesmerize me and frustrate me, and
Dude, you're so depressing. You're so depressing, dude. Dude, take some happy juice.
they pull me into a world I never dreamed I would be a part of. I come home, I come in the door, and I'm part of a family. I'm the father of a family of 6 children.
It's crazy.
With young children. The oldest is 8. It's just it's unbelievable.
It's so unbelievable. He's got to go talk about it on Instagram.
It's unbelievable. And I have a good partner.
Yeah, you do. A partner from hell. She's also Spanish.
I have a good partner.
Bro, you okay? You could be okay, bro.
I'm off on my trip.
Are you on a trip? I'm not sure about that. You haven't made that clear yet.
I gotta go do a little work.
It's a work trip. Thanks for telling me. It's not a pleasure trip. It's a work trip.
But hug your kids and love your kids. And make every day count.
Dude, he doesn't look like he's going to be around much longer, right?
Make every day count.
Okay. Make every shot count. So then, of course, I had to look at Hilaria. Hilaria Thomas Baldwin, otherwise known as Hillary. It's Hillary. It's Hillary. And it's got some her typical videos about her kids and things. But then there's this.
Whenever there's a story in the news about somebody committing suicide.
Wait a minute. Like Alec didn't sound so good in his airport videos, and now you're talking about this. You're with your massive ring here that she really likes to show off.
I see lots of posts with rest in peace. I do them myself. We share around the suicide hotline. We say, if you're thinking these dark thoughts, come talk to us. And then
Wait, you're a part of the suicide hotline? I don't think that's a job that you're cut out for. I don't know if that's what she was saying here because, you know, she has an accent.
after a few days, it quiets down again and we move on. You know, I mean, I guess life moves on, so we all continue moving one foot in front of the other, those of us who are left. But then we always think, or it seems to me, that the noise, the conversations that we're having is about that final moment. If you're in that dark moment...
Oh, boy. You know, this is not where you should be going, right? Especially with the dark moments Alec is putting out there in his recent Instagram videos.
Call this number. Reach out to me in that dark moment. But it's what is leading up to that dark moment that I think we're not talking about enough. And we're all...
You know, if I was in a dark moment like she's referring to, the last person I'd want to talk to, or one of the last people, is Hilaria, right? You know, she's not somebody that's gonna pull you back into the light.
Also not taking enough responsibility for our own hand in it. The
you know, like faking an accent for years and then not owning up to it when you get caught.
Negativity that we're seeing, dishing at each other, and the
shooting your coworkers. I mean, just, you know, just all the negativity out there.
Violence that we're seeing happening and the harassment that we're seeing.
Okay, again, this is about her. We knew this was going to come back around to her.
This is what adds up to those dark moments. And we're not...
Also, when you feel guilty or ashamed or you've done bad things or the food you're eating or spend too much time playing video games or spend too much time in the internet in general or, you know, loneliness. I mean, you know, it's not just internet harassment, right?
Having enough conversations, enough mass days where we talk about not bullying and not negativity. And
you know, because she's being bullied and, and getting a lot of negativity.
Even if it's a small thing like, I don't like your shirt or something silly like that, or
I don't like your fake accent.
Or something...
I don't like the way you say cucumber.
Bigger.
Or eating a cucumber and throwing it at the camera, like those types of things.
About the person, about how the person is, how the person sounds, how the person thinks.
Or how the person banged your future husband And so you got him sent to jail as a stalker.
These all
She's really displaying the ring here. Really likes to show it off.
add up to dark, dark thoughts that bring them to the dark place that is going to bring them potentially to a dark day. And every single day, people take their lives. And we don't hear about most of it because maybe they're not in the news.
Maybe they're not famous. Maybe they've never been caught faking an accident. Maybe they've never shot a coworker.
But it's for those people that we have to start changing this culture, this climate of the negativity. And for us, for those of us who don't partake in that,
She doesn't partake. She's above the negativity.
we have to actively fight against the ones that do.
Exactly. More censorship, because that isn't negative and hateful at all. We got to shut those people down. Anybody who doesn't agree with us and, tells us the truth about our true heritage.
When you see a negative comment, report it.
Report it. Exactly. We don't get into the negativity. We just try to censor anybody that disagrees with us.
When you see somebody getting taken down, stand up for it.
Stand up for it. Especially if it's me. If somebody's on my Instagram, which I don't allow anymore because I only let approved people comment. But if you hear people bullying me, stand up for me. Just say, she is one wonderful Spanish woman from Boston.
For that person. All of these things add up to support, which adds up to hope, which adds up to getting to a brighter place.
I got tears. I'm literally crying right now. I mean, this is just such a beautiful speech. It's like I have a dream.
We all have responsibility for doing this together.
Kablowie, she got it. She nailed it. Look at her. She knows it. She nailed it. She knows she just laid down the law. And, right now Alec is a little bit depressed. You might want to give him a call or not, depending on your negative effect on him. Okay, so let's get into Kanye land here. Kanye West accuses Kim Kardashian of kidnapping their daughter, Chicago. What do you mean by main provider? America saw you try to kidnap my daughter on her birthday by not providing the address. Well, that's not kidnapping. But you know what? I 100% support Kanye. Because, it's always better when Kanye goes full Kanye. You put security on me inside of the house to play with my son, then accused me of stealing. I had to take a drug test after Chicago's party because you accused me of being on drugs. So he's letting it all hang out. Kim was shocked that he went on live accusing her when it was his idea to begin with to have two separate parties. She was going to have hers earlier in the day and was throwing Chai her own separate party. No one was trying to stop him from coming. So there was that. Kim Kardashian slams Kanye's West obsession with attacking her amid divorce. Here they are, not looking so happy. Like, she doesn't even look like a real person, right? But Kanye does. So he gets credit for not looking like a Barbie doll. Kanye's constant need for attacking me in the interviews and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create, talking about her daughter, because he went against her being on TikTok here. My daughter North is on TikTok against my will. And he said, since this is my first divorce, he's thrown her under the bus. I think she's had multiple ones, right? I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will. And the best way is to post this on Instagram and get feedback from Instagram people. Because here he wrote this. Do not be bothered by any attempt to dictate your mood or alter your character. Games are being played, so don't play into them. These are obvious attempts to upset you. Do not lose control over things you may not be able to control. Somebody ban this person. This is not going to lead to him going full Kanye. We need full Kanye. It's 2022. This is a good opportunity. The real Candace Owens wrote something. I actually agree with you on this. Social media raising daughters is never good. Again, they're not helping out with the full Kanye. TikTok is the worst thing to happen to our society. and specifically to our American kids, sending my love and prayers. My first divorce, LMAFOO. So, you know, they're not giving him any advice that's going to lead to him going full Kanye. So she wrote, as a parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children, I am doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the media that she wishes with adult supervision because it brings her happiness. And so divorce is difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. You know, I mean, it's really hard to like Kim Kardashian, but it's easier to like Kanye. He posted Candace Owens' comment. I think Kanye's going to go more Republican now. But whatever he does, as long as he goes full Kanye, things will get better. And I also want to show you this. This was a video on an article on New York Post. And Nicki Minaj does an impression of Adele here.
Might have used to sell crack, and you know, maybe she used to be like hustling like nickels and dimes in the hood.
And so she does a good job of an impression of Adele. I can't show you very much more of this because James Corden sucks on copyright stuff. But she also does an English accent here.
Langa.
Langa, what's your middle name?
Holly.
Holly. I love that name actually.
Thanks.
What's your last name?
Samhedwana.
Samhedwana?
The first person that almost got it right the first time.
I did get it right the first time. I said Samhedwana.
So she's able to do two different English accents because she's a trained actress, right? So she went to LaGuardia. There's a LaGuardia airport, so it's somebody famous in New York. And she was, doing drama in some school there, right? And, I talked about how Cardi B went to one of those, those art schools in New York as well, right? Because a lot of these people who are famous for rap or they're singers or something like this actually went to acting school. Almost all these celebrities have some training in acting. And you can hear the way she talks in this right here.
I'll tell him I can have my baby back. I am not gonna call him.
Here, the intense training gets the better of this young actress.
We gotta be careful.
Did I hit you with the phone?
You hear what she said? The way she talked? Did I hit you with the phone? She doesn't talk like Nicki Minaj, the presentation.
Yeah, it looked like it. She didn't.
Whoa, only one person so far got a little irritated, but then I explained to him how much I love him, and he understands now. And then one person.
So she talks in a completely different way from when she was a teenager, much like Hilaria, because they're all pretending to be something, right? All these famous people they have a brand, and these rappers are trying to be from the city and tough and things like this. Many of them grew up in the suburbs. They're trained actors, right? I showed you early footage of Tupac, right? I mean, Tupac was very effeminate, and he was doing ballet and things in one of these New York School of the Arts.
They really messed up. And also, they fear teenagers are angry. At least this generation seems a little angrier to me and a little bit more rebellious and uninvolved. So they're scared because they're realizing that, what's going to happen when we get all these people empowered. But also just because it's human nature to be scared to watch a child grow up, and you don't want to give him that yet. It was funny. Being a kid, like my little cousin, Hiroji, he's 3, and everything to him is happy. The only thing that makes him unhappy is when things are over, when you turn something off.
So he doesn't seem like a gangster, right? It goes on from there. I mean, it's a whole long interview, but he seems very effeminate, and, he's in a sort of an elite school, a school that's focused. Jada Pinkett Smith went to the school, and, other people who became, famous and, A-listers. And so, so a lot of this stuff is an act. Prince Harry mocked for whining about burnout, meditation, and inner work. Now, New York Post's been pretty hard on Prince Harry because they love the Queen. But he says here, Prince Harry takes about 45 minutes each day morning, either for workouts, take the dog out for a walk, go get out in nature, and maybe meditate. And so, he talks about self-care and things like this, which, is not a part of what I do in terms of the heartfulness meditation. I like the New York Post. They clearly have it in for Prince Harry and, introspection. Because being an introvert, at least a little bit introverted, you can be an extrovert with, periods of time where you want to be introverted and self-reflect, right? I mean, every introvert needs to learn to be an extrovert at times, needs to open up to people. And every extrovert has to learn to interiorize themselves and connect, internally, have more depth, right? People who are introverted have more internal depth, but have a harder time expressing it. And so with anything, you have to balance things out, right? And everyone nowadays, young people grow up just being overstimulated by, certainly the internet and everything else that goes with it. And, they don't develop any sort of internal character qualities. Don't develop imagination. One of the things that sitting in on a school bus or, just the boring, mundane things that people do. I used to walk to school. It took me probably about a half an hour every day when I was a little kid. And, all the things that you did that were boring, sitting in school, being bored and daydreaming, things that are not stimulating. Young people think they deserve to be stimulated every second of the day, right? And they're being pulled out to the periphery of their existence, the external world. And so they don't develop any sort of internalized, character qualities and a rich internal life where you have to go inside and self-reflect and see other people, see yourself as other people see you. And, this is where the narcissism and the selfishness comes in. And that's why I talk about only spirituality saving the world, because we've gone full materialistic, full materialism as a people and a culture, and we see what the outcome is, and it's not a good outcome, right? And again, if you go full spiritual, and that's why in the heartfulness meditation they talk about having a material wing and a spiritual wing, that birds need two wings, both wings to fly, right? That you need to find a balance between all these polar opposites. Finding the balance point is essential in one's existence. And right now, everything's about, experience and, whether it be external experience or internet experience, of course, stuff like the cyber world and, the metaverse and all these things on Facebook, all this stuff that they're pushing is pulling people outwards, and it depletes people. It makes them crazy. And they're always, people are, young people specifically, but in the age of thumbs up and being either condemned or applauded on social media, people are looking for validation from the outside world and not being satisfied with themselves, right? Being, okay with what you're doing because inside and connecting with your heart and your soul and feeling good about what you do. And so, of course, spending some time, I don't believe in self-care. I think that's just some new age way of putting it. But in terms of connecting to, a higher source and going inside and being reflective and ruminating over things and, actually having an internal process instead of expecting constant stimulation is a necessity. And, human beings have gone way too far over on the material side of things. And the material wing is, making the bird crash, right? Right now, the bird's wing, the material wing is so, heavy that there's just spinning in circles and eventually crashing. There's a good spiritual gathering going on now with the Heartfulness System online with the meditation, the YouTube videos, and Daji gave an interesting talk today I want to cover in a video probably tomorrow, so I'll maybe continue with this there. And my video on the other channel, apocalaughsnow, is, to me, well worth watching because of just the stuff I found out about that movie, right? It's just a messed up movie, and Hollywood completely endorsed it. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely pointing from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.